inventor, Frank Furedy, in 1938, put his mind to the problem. How could he develop an ultraviolet ray generator which would have none of the disadvantages of the older types? One that would make the sun's health-giving qualities available at low cost to underprivileged men, women, and children who lived in homes rarely reached by the sun's rays.
Wait a minute. Wait. First of all, you're not going to speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Okay. Remember when the streets used to look like this? Now, they look more like this. Remember when the signs you used to see like this? Now, all you really see is this. Now, if you're in an area and there's nothing like this, then good. Encourage getting outside and continue to go outdoors. Now, there are many contributing factors to the decreasing of home before the streetlights come on stories, but today we'll look at one and see where it takes us. Now, you see, this is a study done in 2011 on the growing disparity between the time children are spending indoors versus the time spending outdoors playing in nature. And people just aren't going outside anymore. Here, this study pointed out one of the reasons being technology, but there's something else lurking in the shadows. In 2011, something else was passed that many might not have paid much attention to. So what exactly do energy efficient light bulbs and going outside have to do with each other? With that being said, let's dig in. We should all know how photosynthesis works. A process in which green plants, some bacteria, and algae use. This process is a complex process where carbon dioxide, water, and certain inorganic salts are converted into carbohydrates using chlorophyll and energy from the sun. Energy from the sun. With that in mind, there has been lots of research on light energy. According to earthsky.com, researchers have done lots of studies on artificial light versus sunlight energy with plants. And although they can grow in artificial light, the sun is best for most plants. You can probably see where I'm going with this one. Like I said, there's many reasons to quiet streets. We could go to any category really and find a contributing factor. Laziness, busy, nothing to do, technology like tablets, game consoles, etc., and health, to name a few. Now, health gets my attention today because if you know this channel, you know we're looking for that odd topic. Now, I know you're like, well, how is there anything odd about health and light bulbs? But see, there just may be something about these light bulbs affecting your health, keeping you from going outside. Wait, we'll get to that. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a fluorescent light. A CFL bulb. It was massively pushed in. The incandescent bulbs pushed out. Now, I know it's energy efficient, but was that all it was?
Now, we've all watched all the videos of the Simpsons basically putting in our faces what's going to happen. They've come up with this brilliant idea to disguise things in a cartoon, because certainly no one's going to take a cartoon seriously, and yet they continue to predict things as they occur. There's way too many to even list, so...
Well, sir, you've certainly vanquished all your enemies, the elementary school, the local tavern, the old age home. You must be very proud.
No, not while my greatest nemesis still provides our customers with free light, heat, and energy. I call this enemy the sun. Since the beginning of time, man has yearned to destroy the sun. I will do the next best thing. Block it out.
Good God.
Imagine it, Smithers. Electrical lights and heaters running all day long. Electrical lights and heaters running all day long.
But, sir, every plant and tree will die.
Wait a minute now. I thought this energy efficient thing was just about saving money. Let's keep digging. So, if plants are reacted to sunlight and this affects their growth, what happens if the natural light source is replaced with an artificial light source?
We know that green plant pigment, chlorophyll, is produced in plants only when they are exposed to sunlight. Keep a plant in the dark, and the leaves lose that rich green color. They become pale, and the plant slowly dies. Deny sunshine to human beings, and they also lose their healthy skin color. They become pale, listless, and fall easy prey to disease.
Now, I know you're probably like, wait, that didn't say what happens if you replace sunlight with artificial light. It only showed what happens if you take sunlight away. But see, the sun has what's known as full spectrum light, which fluorescent lights claim to have, but not exactly the same spectrum as the sun. For example, the amount of blue light in fluorescent is different than the amount of blue light in the sun. And being that there's no regulations on what's called full spectrum, any ratio of colors can be called full spectrum. What does this have to do with anything?
And I will change the locks on my door.
You've got some lights, so you're going to show us a demonstration.
Yes, I want to demonstrate it
on me.
Yeah, as to how you're being impacted by this. So once again, we're doing this muscle checking concept in case viewers haven't seen it. It's showing how our energy system operates, and at one point we actually showed the meter. That I'm not pressing harder versus softer. It's what's happening in your body. So arm out, thumb down, Bill.
All right.
You're pushing up, ready, resist.
Okay, I got you.
And again, you felt that as a heart pressure.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to tell you which tube this is.
All right.
You're just going to look at it. So arm out.
Okay.
Look at this. Ready, resist. Ready, resist.
Just looking at the light.
Just looking at the light. Yeah. This is what's in everybody's offices and in classrooms. It's a
Well, there it is,
cool
boss.
tube.
Normally, I'd be a great employee,
Yeah,
but it's the
light.
light's fault.
It's the light, and it is. Actually.
Okay.
Let's do this one now.
Now, am I?
Okay. Okay. So you just put your arm
amazing.
out. Ready. Push up.
Oh, that's.
And you felt that as a heart pressure.
That's
Again,
freaky stuff.
This is the full spectrum tube. Now, in terms of how TV is showing it, it may not show as really two different colorations, but Bill, you can actually see.
Oh yeah, I can see there's a big difference. It's much softer.
Yeah, there's very, very big difference.
Now, the new light bulbs, the new squiggly-looking light bulbs that come in, are they full spectrum?
Not unless you get a full spectrum.
Oh, okay.
And now, unfortunately, you go to Lowe's and Home Depot and get what they call full spectrum tubes. There are no government standards on it.
Oh.
And I got excited because I thought they were better, and it turns out their arm
would go down.
Electrical lights and heaters running all day long.
I know you're probably like, you are stretching this way too far. It's just a new money-saving light. But looking at light energy from the natural source, it heals. And they have actually come up with healing bulbs which produce positive light energy.
In 1893, Dr. Finsen of Denmark, who knew the bactericidal nature of ultraviolet rays, looked elsewhere for a source of these curative rays. He developed a carbon arc lamp and a system of quartz lenses. He used quartz because it is one of the very few known substances which permits the transmission of all the ultraviolet rays. He concentrated strong ultraviolet rays on small sections of diseased skin and was able to clear up the horrible disfiguring lesions of lupus vulgaris.
So why push bulbs that do the exact opposite and then mandate them?
Compact fluorescent light bulbs are everywhere, part of the push to go green. We're told, do your part to save the environment. And the old light bulbs, the inefficient ones like incandescents, are being banned.
So let's look into how this efficient light is actually causing harm. So take plants and chlorophyll. There's a similar process when you look at the process of photosynthesis that comes to mind when you think of converting sunlight to energy. There's something that also converts sunlight into vertebrate metabolic energy known as melanin. Something we all have no matter the race, just in different amounts.
Melanin, you can think of, is very analogous to the chlorophyll. That's the green stuff in plants. What makes the plants green? Chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the same molecule as hemoglobin that's in your blood, except hemoglobin has iron in the center and chlorophyll has magnesium in the center. It's like liquid green blood, okay? Now, melanin has the same kind of ring structures and so on, and it makes very complex structures, and not all melanins are the same. as we'll talk about in a minute. In fact, there's somebody even studying that and wondering whether energy is directly absorbed from the melanin in your skin and transformed into energy in your body. Okay? And they even think about could in the future, and they're developing this now, they're taking melanin and making batteries out of them that store energy from the sunlight directly. It might in fact become a future source of how we're going to generate energy. They even think about could in the future, and they're developing this now, they're taking melanin and making batteries out of them that store energy from the sunlight directly. It might in fact become a future source of how we're going to generate energy.
What? So if they're already researching parts of your body that can store energy, you better believe they have figured out how energy affects the body as well.
Good evening and welcome to 16 by 9, The Bigger Picture. I'm Mary Guerra. They are the energy savers. They keep pushing on us. You know those swirly light bulbs you see everywhere? But wait until you hear what our Alison Vushnick uncovers about these bulbs and what some say it's doing to their bodies.
Imagine turning on a light bulb and only 20 minutes later, your face looks like this. Brenda Ryder says it happened to her.
When I looked in the mirror and saw my face, I was absolutely horrified. I didn't exactly know what had caused it or whether it could be controlled or whether it was short-term or long-term. So I was just completely aghast.
And there are others.
I get dizzy. Weeping pustules. I can't focus well. I just feel all wrong.
It's gonna make a lot of people sick.
They all say it was these, the curly compact fluorescent light bulbs, making them sick. And when they removed them,
pain went away within a couple of days.
And my hands started healing immediately.
You won't find curly bulbs here anymore. Jane Pentela changed all the bulbs back to incandescent. In her basement in St. Catharines, Ontario, Jane used to craft for hours, very close to the compact fluorescent light bulbs. Then a mysterious rash started to appear.
On my arms, on my neck, behind my ears, down into my chest, on my legs next. I've had all sorts of blood work done, and everything comes back negative, every possibility.
Skin problems, headaches, joint pain from turning on a light? Hard to imagine. So we started investigating. So exactly what do the bulbs emit? First concern, it may be what's coming off the bulbs. Ultraviolet radiation. That's right, scientists say the bulbs give off UV, like the sun does. We know this because Health Canada, they're the people who make sure the products and drugs you use are safe, told us in an email that the CFLs are not provided with a prismatic diffuser that filters ultraviolet radiation out. Therefore, there may be skin sensitivity issues, especially in people with certain skin diseases.
Each one was growing under a different type of light. This one was growing under a compact fluorescent light. This one was growing under an LED light. And this one was growing under a high pressure sodium street light. And I got the results a little bit sooner than what I expected for a rather unexpected reason, because what I hadn't planned on was that the plants didn't show any illness, but I did. So that was quite a shock. And the illness that I showed was pretty extensive. It was quite horrible, to be honest with you. And these three lighting products appeared to induce extreme fatigue into my body and headaches and just general lethargic behavior. You know, I mean, I guess it would probably, a lot of people would say, would be depression.
Man has yearned to destroy the sun. I will do the next best thing. Block it out.
Our next guest is the former Vice President of the United States. Please welcome Vice President Al Gore. And what are you... Well, first of all, let me ask you this question, because there's a rumor, I don't know if this is true or not, that some scientists are trying to figure out a way to block the sun to try to slow down global warming.
Yeah, it's a measure of the feeling of desperation that some of them feel.
Are they really thinking they could do that?
Well, some of them are seriously proposing, and I think it's completely nuts.
Yeah.
You put another kind of pollution, sulfur dioxide, up to orbit, cover the atmosphere. The sky won't be really blue in the way it is now anymore, but it would block out some of the sun's heat so that we wouldn't have to take the difficult steps to stop spewing all this global warming pollution into the atmosphere. And of course, there are a lot of problems with what they're proposing. It turns out plants need sunlight.
Yes.
What if you discovered a way to cool down the planet? Extreme weather events are becoming more common and more ferocious. As the surface temperature of the Earth continues to rise, so too will the ferocity of natural disasters. In 2018, scientists will take bold steps to explore a technology that could reverse the effects of climate change.
It's an engineering project that would literally touch every living thing on the planet.
They're looking at ways to reflect sunlight back into space and cool down the Earth.
Good God! Imagine it, Smithers. Electrical lights and heaters running all day long.
Topic! Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, baby.